Hello, this is Taha.
This is Anaina,
This is Movie Masala.
and we're here to yap at you about films we watched recently.
And today we're doing
Boong.
Shut up, you shut up. Imada surprise togi tobane. Yamna nungsiba gift ama piraga. As adukla adu Misna taun nishingra. Yamna sangna chatpa poti. Quite a gift ne. Bettina chatpa kanam pio.
Okay, so I'm back in my indie niche film era.
You barely left it.
I left it for like 2 months and I was like, no, I must go back. I must go back. The film bro in me is crying. He's desperate. Anyway, this is like actually a really, really nice film. And it's not one of those like niche, you have to really watch it to get it kind of film. So it basically was a part of Indian Film Festival, which happens, it's a small film festival that happens is mainly in London and Birmingham. And it's a Manipuri film by the director Lakshmipriya Devi. This is her like debut feature film. It kind of had like an American premiere at TIFF, which is Toronto International Film Festival as well. But I don't think it's done any theatric
Okay.
round. Yeah. So the film is set in West Imphal. Imphal is the capital of Manipur. And for just a little bit of context, for a few years now, Manipur has been undergoing a lot of communal violence. And it's extreme communal violence to the point that some of the locations where this film was shot don't exist anymore. And the kind of production crew and cast are really open about speaking about that. Because villages have been burnt down and stuff like that as a result of this violence. And one of the like main problems is that not only is the Indian government not doing anything to stop the violence, but it's getting worse and worse. And for even more context, Manipur is a state in the northeast of India, and it borders kind of Myanmar or Burma, as you know, the colonial times would call it. This is kind of really important to the film as well, because like I said before, a lot of the locations where this film was shot don't exist anymore because of the violence. But also the fact that they share a border with Myanmar has an important role to play. And I'll get to that later. But basically, this is the kind of dark, really serious setup to this film. And then the film starts with this young boy, which is what, by the way, Boong means. This young boy doing this little trick with like a, what's it called? You know, when you throw the stone.
Skipping stones?
No, like through a slingshot. Yeah, like throwing stones through a slingshot on the gate of a school that has the like name of the school on it in these metal letters. And you see him like do this trick again and again and again as he shoots down certain letters. And once he's done with his, you know, artistry, you end up reading the words Homo Boys School.
Amazing.
Which is a childish, infantile joke, but it's funny when you watch it.
Yeah, 100%.
And then he goes to the same school the next day and, you know, he gets like pulled up. It's like, yeah, you're the only boy who knows English. You're the only boy who probably knows how to say the word homo. Come up stage and say an English prayer. And he starts singing Like a Virgin by Madonna.
Amazing. Like, how? Yes.
Exactly. It just sets up for such a funny and like heartwarming film. And the whole audience was just cackling. And I myself was cackling out
I can
loud.
imagine.
Like when a film starts like that, you're just like, that's the strongest opening that you could possibly give. And the rest of the film kind of follows suit, where it has this like Boong, the main little boy, the protagonist, who's played by Gagan Kipchen. He kind of lives with his mother, Mandakini, who's played by Balahijam Ninguthajam. And they both, Gagan and Bala, do an amazing job. They're such phenomenal actors. They get the kind of comedy of their roles so well. But they also get what I'm getting to, which is that like the really deep, intense moments correct as well. Especially for Gagan, who I'm sure cannot be older than 10 or 11. But yeah, so basically the film follows Boong and Mandakini, who is at this point a single mom, as they await Boong's dad's return. Boong's dad's name is Joy Kumar. And the lore goes that he's basically off in this other city running his business and he never picks up any calls and he never returns and blah, blah, blah. And Boong is missing his father and Mandakini is getting lonely. And basically there's this community around them that is well, kind of shaming Mandakini for her husband not coming back to her, except for this one guy played by Vikram Kochhar called Sudhir Agarwal and his kid Raju, who is best friends with Boong. And they're the only allies that Boong and Mandakini have. And it's really, that's where the main metaphoric and communal violence aspect of it comes in. Because Sudhir and Raju are originally, ancestrally, hundreds of years ago from Rajasthan. They're Agarwals, which is a Marwadi surname.
Hmm.
And in Manipur, they are called outsiders because they're not from the Northeast. And so there's a lot of racism that happens towards them as well from the Northeastern locals. And then obviously they give it right back to them as well, because there is a lot of racism from other Indian states towards the Northeastern people, specifically to do with how they look and because they look different, quote unquote. It really deals with that as well and how it manifests in children. So there's this one really interesting scene, not interesting, but this kind of uncomfortable scene where these kids are calling each other slurs, back and forth. Slurs I'm not even going to say because they're slurs.
Yes, fair.
And you just kind of sat there dealing with it. And
In the discomfort of it all, basically.
exactly. Yeah, and you're just kind of sat there going, they're kids, they don't know what that means. But then they're also saying it like it's meant. They're saying it the same malice that an adult would say it.
I feel when kids do it, it's also hurts in a very specific way, because with adults, it's malice, it's anger, and you can be angry at them in a very direct way. But with kids, there's just such a loss of innocence that hurts more. It feels more visceral in that way.
Exactly. And I think that's what Lakshmipriya Devi captures so well. It's that balance of the innocence and playfulness of Boong and his friend Raju versus these really hard things that they're dealing with, exclusion and racism and, the loss of a father, or in Raju's case, the loss of a mother and stuff like that. So I feel like it does that really, really well. It captures that balance really, really well. And big up the actors. Raju is played by Angam Sanamutam. Again, like I said, Gagan is fantastic. The child actors in this are amazing. And basically, so the plot happens that they're waiting. Boong and his mom are waiting and he doesn't come back. And so Boong decides to go to the city where his dad is supposed to be and find him. But they just don't find him. They keep looking in places. They keep trying to find him. And at one point, we think his dad might be a drag queen. Such is not the case, though. The drag queen is a fabulous woman. The drag queen is fabulous, by the way. She does end up helping them at the end. And,
As drag
spoiler
queens do.
but he does find his dad. Exactly. He does find his dad, but across the border in Myanmar with a whole other family and kids.
I feel you, just by the way you describe this, I can see that coming. Not exactly that outcome, but the dad is either dead or has fully abandoned them.
Exactly. And the dad is dead is a subplot. He literally sends his relatives, he literally tells the chief or mayor of the village to issue a death certificate in his name.
Yikes.
And you're right, it doesn't come as a shock because there were two options, but you still get hurt.
Yeah, 100%.
Because obviously you see Boong getting hurt. Yeah. And then he comes back home and this is really, basically it's a really simple plot line. There's a lot of, fun little twists and turns and chase sequences and they're going over into Myanmar on a no visa, really sketchy kind of bribe way and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of that. They, get to the other city next to a dead granddad with this girl they've made friends with after they proclaim, I hate girls, a billion times. So it has these wonderful, wonderful moments. I think as strong as the opening is, I think the closing is as strong as well. Because it closes with Boong trying to be this man and going up to his mom and being yeah, my dad is actually dead. And his mom looking at him going, am I not your mother? And Boong goes, yes. And there's a pause. And then she goes, was he happy?
Oh.
And it's just again, it captures that balance between innocence and the loss of innocence so well. Because it's of course the mother knows the 10-year-old kid is lying. The 10-year-old little boy is lying. but she knows he knows something that's such an adult piece of information. Like no child should ever have to
Yeah, 100%.
no child should ever have to find that out for themselves. So yeah, through and through, I think this is a fantastic film. I'm not well versed on the kind of nuances of the depictions of, communal segregation and communal discrimination and violence and stuff. There is like kind of a really strong presence of like army in Manipur and like presence of like soldiers and stuff like that, which is like this always in the back of like a looming violence kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not necessarily in front of you, but it adds like texture to the story, basically.
Exactly right. So I don't know much about the nuances of context or the kind of these backdrops of what is going on. But yeah, I think from what I do know and what I can understand, I think that this film treats all the kind of contrasts and contradictions of being Manipurian, being a child in Manipur, from like this kind of village versus urban, or this child versus not, and this mom dealing with, being left and stuff. It gets it right, and it touches your heart. And I feel like that's all I want from a film at the end of the day.
No, that is very fair. You laugh, you cry, and you feel heartwarming,
Exactly. I think that once this film gets like a theatrical release, if it does, fingers crossed, I think everyone should go. It has a big production house behind it. It has XL Media Productions behind it, which has some of the like biggest names in Bollywood behind it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it gets like a good theatrical release.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, I just think it was really sweet, really cute. And if you can, you should watch it.
So yeah, those are our thoughts. Thank you for tuning in. This podcast is produced solely by us with musical assets from Pixabay. If you enjoyed this, please do share it. See you again next time.